Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I don't know what that was. So today we are going to be discussing this new trend that's been going around TikTok and YouTube over the past couple of months. It's quite a problematic one and I think it needs to be discussed, so I'm just going to be going over it briefly because a couple of other channels have been doing really good, like videos on it, so I'll try and leave as many linked in the description below if you want to learn more about it. So let's get on with it. So basically, there's always kind of been this weird stereotype behind certain types of pets that are more exotic or need a bit more, care, like more room. So for birds it's been, you have to let them out of the cage and let them fly and keep them enriched and busy. And for some reason people seem to think that animals can survive in the wild even though they're domesticated ones. So they think they can just get their pet and release them into the wild and expect them to survive happily. Now for some, animal species it's worked out fine. Like in London, the Indian ringneck parrot has been able to survive, get food, water, some places to hide and stuff like that. And like there's been Amazon parrots and things like that that have been able to survive in certain countries. But this doesn't always work out, and the fact that people are starting to release their budgies is really not great. So I'm gonna put in a clip now or something, and basically people have just started to release their budgies, as I've been basically talking about. I don't know why this has become a trend. I mean, TikTok is a place where you just decrease your brain cells over many useless videos, but then when something's like new trend or something, people want to copy. So I did see this video a little while ago. I'll try and find it again and put it in, but it was where someone went to Petco and bought a budgie to release it into the wild, and I believe when they released it, they were in the Petco car park or something. They released it and it got hit by a car straight away, and you think, why would you do that? Budgies in the wild are the natural green and kind of a little bit yellowy colour with the bars. This is so that when they are flying in their group they match the grasslands in Australia, so they can camouflage from hawks up above, and they're off the ground from predators that are on the ground. So they have camouflage colours, so when you release your pet budgies, which can be yellow, blue, white, all these different colours, they don't match the surroundings, especially just releasing them anywhere that isn't even like their natural place. So first of all, the camouflage thing is a problem because then they can't hide from predators. They can get picked off by hawks, birds of prey, and also that kind of leads me on to predators in itself. So like I was saying, there's hawks, there's different birds of prey. So like in the UK there's sparrowhawks, they'll be able to take out a budgie. And also there's cats, dogs. Some dogs are reactive, they like chasing after smaller animals and birds, and if your budgie's like in a state of shock, they might not know what to do, and you've just released it and a dog could come up and try and get it. So there's a lot of predators out there that your budgie or a pet budgie that you bought and just released won't be acclimatized to, so they won't know. Yes, they'll have like that fight or flight instinct, but they won't really be like too aware of the different types of predators that there are to avoid, because they're meant to be pets. And then another key aspect thing is that even though, like we've bred them and stuff, they might not be the healthiest or strongest of birds. So you may have a bird that is a weak flyer. If they come from a pet shop, usually they have their wings clipped, or even from a breeder, if you get them as a baby, they'll have short wings, their feathers are still growing in, so they can't really fly that well. I know it took my 2 budgies to grow in their feathers a couple of weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks to grow in their feathers until they could fly, and even then they were very clumsy flyers for a couple of months. But they may not be a strong flyer, they may have deformities, because that's just what sometimes happens. You may have ones that have dodgy feet. I mean, Kiki has some dodgy feet thing. And then you may have like all different kind of things, illness in that bird that you don't know because you haven't cared for it or something like that. There's just so much wrong that gives your budgie a setback in being able to survive in the wild. So that's why you shouldn't be releasing them and their pets. Like, you're not just gonna, everyone's not just gonna grab their dog and be like, okay, let's just get rid of them now. I mean, I know people chuck them out on purpose and just like abuse them and stuff, but everyone who, if you love your animal or your pet, you're not going to release them because there's no good reason to. That they're no better off in the wild than in your home. You may as well provide them that protection, food and water source, because they won't be able to find that easily in the wild, because they don't really have a very good sense of direction if you're just chucking them in the air, like chucking them off, and just getting rid of them. So it's really a hard subject to talk about, because you just feel like, how stupid can people really be to release their animals and think they're going to be okay when they rely on you to feed them, to take care of them, just to protect them and give them a safe, loving home. How I don't know what goes through people's heads, really. And it's like, people who think birds should be in the wild, I mean, yes, preferably all animals would be in the wild, but because of us, we've destroyed their habitats. So, macaws, bigger birds, and even the smaller birds, really, their habitat's slowly being destroyed because of us. So there's not really many of some of the species left in the wild because we are destroying their homes. I don't really know how people think that they can do better in the wild when they don't have their homes anymore, really. Yeah, I'm just kind of rambling on it because it really makes me sad when people feel like this is a way on how to treat your bird. If you feel like you're not the right home for an animal, give it to a rescue. Try and find it a better loving home, because just releasing it into the wild, if you're not allowed it anymore, like I've seen people releasing mice into the wild and other animals because their parents don't want them to have it anymore. So you don't just do that, you look for them. If you really care about animals, you go and put the time and effort into finding them a good loving home. So I know it's rambling, but I just wanted to put it out there that these things are happening and it's not okay. You really have to think and realise that just because you see it on TikTok doesn't mean it's okay. Whatever. you know, people do things for the views or clout or whatever. I've seen people flush their alive fish down the toilet and be like, oh, I didn't realise it was alive, I thought it was dead. So just, you know, it's not about views. You shouldn't be treating your animal like exploiting them like that, because that's not a way to go. You know, you just love and care for them properly, and they should be fine. So basically, again, I'll leave the videos down below if you want to just learn a little bit more. And I'm sorry about having to rant, but it's just really hard when people think they know best about animals. I mean, I don't really know a lot, you know, I'm not a genius, but you know, it isn't that hard to realise how stupid and idiotic this idea of releasing your pets into the wild is. So again, sorry for rambling, and don't release your bird into the wild. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.